Hey Heath, it's good to see you again, man. It's been a bit. It's good to get back on the horse with our video series, Trades into 218.
Yeah, good to talk to you too, Dave. Yeah, I agree. It's been a little while, but good to get together again and talk about all the good things around the building and construction trades up here in Northeast Minnesota.
You know what's cool? Every so often, you can get information from a book, or you can get information from a magazine, or watch it on TV. But sometimes it's just really good to get information from the horse's mouth. And today our guest is one of those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. So today we're going to talk to one of the members of the operators, right? So the operating engineers, also known as the 49ers. And yeah, hear directly from him, all the good things about what life in the trades is like and what a good career can be.
All right, let's talk to Joe Abeyta. Joe will be talking about, I suppose some of the things that it makes, why it's fun to be a operator, why it's fun to be a Niner. So without further ado, here's our talk with Joe Abeyta.
So Joe, welcome. Glad that you could join us today. Could
Thank you
you
for
tell
having
us a
me
little
here.
bit about yourself and what you do, Joe?
Yeah, absolutely. I live up here in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, and I'm a father of 3 kids, and I got my wife that I support throughout the year. I'm a heavy equipment operator with the local 49, and it can be a very interesting season this year as a lot of jobs have been postponed and put off for a little while. But on a typical season, I'm putting on my hard hat, strapping up my boots, jumping in a piece of equipment, and pretty much building something for someone somewhere up here on the range.
So we were talking earlier, Heath and I, and it seems that every time you get a chance to talk to somebody who's worked in the trades, there's always that one project, that one thing that they worked on that really was exciting. Joe, tell us about a project or two you may have worked on that is memorable.
I think one of the projects that I worked on that was pretty memorable was I Falls Airport last year. It was kind of interesting. I was up there with a mobile crush operation for KGM, and it was really interesting. I'm sitting in my loader. I'll be digging material, feeding the crusher, and turn my head for just a second, and here comes an aircraft flying in
Oh, geez.
on one of the tarmacs. But it was a very fast-paced job, but it was just really interesting to see all the aircrafts coming in as we're working from Canada or from St. Paul or wherever they were coming from. But you could have reached out and touched some of them. I mean, that's just some of the scenery change that we get from job to job. And it was really, really an exciting project with a bunch of different contractors and different trades out there that made it really exciting.
I think that's an interesting point, Joe, that we talk about with the trades, that it is project to project. And so you're going from different jobs to different jobs. And so, yeah, up to I Falls, but you could be down in Duluth, right? Lots of projects going on in Duluth right now.
Oh, absolutely. Let me see, I went to I Falls last season for 2 months and worked up at the airport there. And from there, I went over to Grand Marais and did some screening for a highway project in Grand Marais for a couple of months. And once we were done with that, I was up in Grand Portage where we did the Ryden's parking lot paving job. And then once we were done with that, it was down to Duluth to do a bunch of road projects. I mean, the scenery changes every single day. I mean, it's great. One day you might see Lake Superior. The next day you might see something clear up in I Falls in the middle of no land. I mean, it's an exciting change of pace. I don't put down those that like their office jobs. I mean, we need those guys too. They keep us working. But I love my window view every day.
Joe, before we got started, we talked a little bit about the need for quality people, the need for people that you're going to work alongside with, that when you're working on a job that they're going to be in the next seat. What does a good candidate, a good 49er look like?
To me, a good 49er is somebody that will ask questions, somebody that will get down to the training center in the off season and meet with some of our world-class trainers. I mean, these guys have been doing this for 30, 40, 50 years, and a lot of them volunteer their time down at our training center to teach new guys how to run this equipment safely and effectively as part of a team, because ultimately that's what we are when we're out on a job site. We are a team, and I want that guy next to me to be able to run that piece of equipment as best he can. And if he's got a question, ask it. That's something that we're real big on in our trade is you ask questions. If we see somebody struggling, we're not afraid to jump out and give them a hand or give them a pointer. But that's what we need are good guys who are willing to ask questions and want to learn. Because anybody can do this if they got the will.
It was interesting because I had a chance to talk to a young man that I was working with the other day who's interested in the trades, and he asked, so you tell me a lot about safety, Dave, but do they really take it that seriously? And my eyes kind of opened up and I was like, holy cow, that might be the biggest thing they take into consideration.
That is the biggest thing. I mean, this equipment, when we're working out in the mining crushing, this equipment can run over a person and it doesn't even feel like you hit a rock. We take this job very serious. So this is very dangerous equipment. We move a lot of material, a lot of earth with it, but we always take the extra minute to make sure that we're doing it in the safest possible way. We're always wearing our seatbelts. You get thrown around in a cab or you get on a slippery slope or something slips out from under you, that seatbelt will save your life. We take it very serious, and anybody who doesn't think so, come join us. You'll feel safe around us.
I want to go back to a point that you made just a bit ago, Joe, that you had talked about the off season, and we talked about different projects. Can you kind of describe to us a little bit of what a year in the life of an operator looks like or could look like with the construction season and then the off season?
Yeah, in our trade, it can be different for a lot of guys. A lot of guys end up with one company that they stick with throughout the season. They could be on that one project, you know, the hospitals down in Duluth. Those guys are going to be on that project for years, and they'll stay there. That'll be all that they do. But we've got some guys that are working the St. Louis River revitalization project. We got a guy out there running a barge. You know, he enjoys that. He jumps on, he runs his barge, he runs a skiddy around on the barge, cleans up, does a little bit of digging with the long hole. But some of us, we go job to job. You know, we like the change of pace. Some of us might end up in South Dakota. Some of us might end up in Virginia. For those guys who like to travel, there's those opportunities out there. Come winter, most of us here in Minnesota, we are laid off for a couple of months because the ground is just too cold, too frozen to be able to dig in or do any kind of construction with. But there are also opportunities for those to go out and do snow plowing or clean up throughout the winter as well. We got a lot of guys that are out in Duluth throughout the winter pushing snow and getting them off the road and keep the road safe for us as well. So it can be different depending on what people like. If you're a guy that likes to just go in, do your work today and go home tomorrow, call it quits, there's that position for you. If you're that guy that likes to travel and see the country, there's pipelining jobs that you can definitely get yourself part of. I mean, there's a lot of opportunities.
So, Joe, it's kind of funny when we work with people and we talk about the 49ers, they get this like spark behind their eyes, like when they were 10 and the first time they thought about driving a dozer or a cat of some kind. Tell us what it's like to actually get behind one of those for somebody who might be interested in getting into the 49ers. What's it feel like?
It's exciting. Not gonna lie to you. I mean, it's the best job in the world. I do remember when I was 14, my uncle started his own concrete company, and I was working with him. And he had a little bobcat out there, and we were cutting some handicap ramps. And he says, "Well, you want to just jump in there and move this material over to the other side of the yard?" So I've never run one of them before. And he says, "Oh, it's easy. It's just, just play with it. You'll figure it out." And I was kind of hooked on equipment then. But then when I became a big boy and I got into the big equipment, and you walk up to a piece of equipment and the tire is 2 feet taller than you, I mean, you get a rush. You feel like you're going to do something incredible today. It's very, very exciting. But at the end of the day, when you've moved tons of material and you've built a new road or you've helped put up a new piece of infrastructure and you jump out of that equipment into your own vehicle and you look back at what you just accomplished, you feel pretty good about what you just did because you built something for somebody and you're going to benefit a lot of people with what you just accomplished. I mean, it's a great feeling. But on some days when you jump out of that big piece of equipment and then you jump into your, a half-ton pickup, you feel vulnerable. I will admit that. I've had a couple of days where I jump out and I get into my truck and I'm thinking, oh, please don't hit me, somebody. So it's a rush.
So, Joe, question then. So for someone who's out there who's thinking about it, maybe they feel the same way, help their grandpa out, that type of thing. What would you want them to know about the opportunities to join the 49ers? What's out there? What their prospects look like?
Prospects look good. I mean, this is one industry that will never go away. This pandemic has made it difficult this year with some projects being delayed and put off. But that doesn't mean those jobs are going away. That just means we're going to have more of a need for them because now they're being piled on with new projects that will come up. This is constant work. You will always have work. Please, if you feel like you think you might enjoy something like this, give it a try.
Okay, so last question then, Joe. We talk about on 218 trades that there are opportunities here in northern Minnesota that you don't have to leave. You don't have to go far away. You don't have to go to the Twin Cities to work. Is that true for the operating engineers as well?
That is absolutely true. We have construction companies right here in Grand Rapids. We have Casper. We have Hawkinson. We have the Caterpillar facility right there in Buell. All 49ers. A lot of our local governments are 49ers in their maintenance and equipment guys. There's plenty of opportunities for local guys to stay home. I've decided this year that's what I'm doing. So that's kind of, with COVID-19, I'd rather be close to my family. So I'm staying close to home for work because I chose to. So those opportunities are there for anybody that wants them. You don't have to leave. You can stay right here and build our community.
Perfect. Well, Joe, I want to really say thank you for your time. I know this is kind of a busy time. We'll let you get back to it, but thanks for spending a couple of minutes with us to talk in trades in the 218.
Yeah, no, I want to thank you guys for everything that you're doing in it.
Sounds great, Joe. Thank you very much. Have a good day, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds great. Thanks, guys.
How about that, Heath? There's one of those guys you want to hear from. The passion from Joe about his time, being a operator. Those things that he talked about, being a kid and being all excited and working with his uncle. Those are the things you're not gonna see on TV.
Yeah, it's great to have that firsthand account of, this is what I enjoy. This is my passion. I enjoy having my career. I get to live in Northeast Minnesota, right? I get to live here, play here, work here, and just someone who really enjoys their job. It's great to hear that.